Welcome back everyone, I'm Setharoth, and today we are diving into the Shadow Mage spells from the Triumvirate Mage Archetypes spell mod. The Shadow Mage is definitely designed for an assassin type build, so it's taken me a couple of tries to get used to these spells because I've been doing spellcaster and destruction and conjuration for so long. Geez, I haven't assassinated someone with a dagger for ages, so it took a sec to get used to these spells just because the combat style is a little different. The spell types that we are using for this archetype are Alteration, Destruction, and Illusion. So obviously those are the three that we're going to be beefing up with. I've gone ahead and pre-buffed this character with some skills in all three, but given that none of these are restoration, I don't feel any shame at using God mode just for this demo, because frankly none of these abilities really need the health bar, aside from some absorption stuff, but that kind of goes without saying. So first off, let's start with the Alteration spells. As with all other Triumvirate mods, the spells are only available with 3 different vendors. So the Alteration spells that we're going to get into, the first is available with Babette at the Dark Brotherhood, which I believe is down in this area. I had some trouble with my main, so I had to bring up a demo that hasn't fully explored everything yet, but anyway, the Dark Brotherhood questline, Babette, creepy little vampire child. Sorry, spoilers, but she freaks me out. So that is one place where you can get the Alteration spells for the Shadow Mage. The next is Enthier in Winterhold. So that would be all the way up there. And then Golem AI in Solitude. I'm sure I'm butchering some of the pronunciation here. And last but not least, Neloth in Tel Mithrin, which I believe is in Solitude, but don't quote me on that. I haven't done the Solitude questline in quite some time. I've just been so busy testing all of these mods. Anyway, so there's quite a few locations, depending on where you start, where you can pick up these Alteration spells, basically the 3 corners of Skyrim. Although obviously for the Dark Brotherhood stuff, you can't exactly start there. Well, actually there is an alternate start mod that will let you start there, so that is something to consider. Alright, so we're going to get into action. So first off, the first Alteration spell is Shadow Stride, and this one you are going to have access to. I don't think I Okay, so the reason I don't have that one prepped right to get from the get-go is because I use Akatal's Recital. Shadow Stride is going to pop every time I enter combat, right? That's one of the beauties of using the Apocalypse spell mod with Triumvirate, because they're made by the same modder, so they work together flawlessly. Basically, Shadow Stride means I will move 15% faster in combat, and as you may have noticed from the comments on my main Triumvirate video, this also starts combat when you cast the spell, right? So you won't be running around town and casting this and having no one respond, because it counts as a combat spell. But having it auto fire when you enter combat, that totally circumvents that particular weakness, and there you go. So this character will move faster than normal for almost a minute and a half with where Alteration spells where they are currently at. And that's going to pop anytime I enter combat. So it's, yeah, you'll see it. Next is Step Through Shadows. That one is castable. And this one going to mean stealth for this one. So dash to a target that's up to 150 feet away. It reduces their armor by 100 for 10 seconds. So we're going to, yeah, I know I tried to demo these in third person, but first is just easier for making this work. Bon appetit! Aha! So you can teleport to the target as long as it's within 150 feet away. Here's the animation for Shadow Stride. I'm emanating darkness that boosts my movement speed. If you combine this with Growl or Sacrosanct, which again come from the same modder as this mod, one of the bonuses you can get to your mortal form is increased movement speed, so you can actually stack those benefits to make a character that moves stupidly fast. So obviously if you're going to move in quick, pick off a single scout, or as you can see, I was able to wait until his back was turned and then teleport in, so I got some sneak attack damage, or I would if I had all the right perks for it. I don't think I perked up my sneak attack just so that I could showcase specifically the shadow spells, but you get the idea. It's an assassin's dream. Alright, next is Shadow Dance. This is another kind of a utility-based spell. As you run along, you will just do a little jump, and it teleports you 20 feet ahead. There you go. So it's a short-range teleportation. It can help you get over shorter distances that are just not quite too wide for you to jump. Alright, so this is actually the perfect time. Actually, I'm going to upgrade, tweak my display a little bit. I usually do these kind of demonstrations in the day and in the open because it's just easier to see everything that's going on. With the darkness, it is easier. Well, it's easier for stealth because that obviously makes you harder to detect. But it also makes it harder for people to see what's going on. So I've cranked up my brightness, and you know what? Just to top things off. Oh no, I'm not in my main right now, so I can't just become a vampire at will for their night vision. But this should be good. The brightness should work. You can totally see the darkness energy pooling around my body, which is the main point. Alright, so next we're going to use pull through shadows. So as you can see, there are two scouts. There's one over there, and then there's another guy that was just standing there. I think he just walked away. So we've got two guys. Obviously, if we run in and try to assassinate one, the other's going to be uncomfortably close, and that can cause problems. So we're going to use this spell. This is easier to do from first person. Hello! Ah! It dropped him just a few feet ahead of me. Alright, so as you can see, that teleported him nice and close. It gives me an extra like 5 or 6 seconds to prep the right shout or put together whatever countermeasures I want until these guys show up. If I was in a bigger chamber, I could have teleported him farther away because it has a maximum range of 150 feet. Like, you can pull a target out of the awareness distance of all the other characters. I just wasn't able to do that from this room because it's kind of close together. Alright, lastly is Nightgate. And, well, you know what? Actually, since we are in God mode, we can take a few liberties. So we're going to put a gate down here. And then we're going to run back up the steps. Excusez-moi, this is a demonstration. I am not trying to remove you or your family or your posterity. This is purely demonstrative. Why is there two portals down there? Oh, I remember now. Okay, so the way this thing works is the first portal is going to be centered on where you're standing, and the second one is going to be based on where your crosshairs are. So, yeah, we'll deal with this guys in just a sec. I just wanted to demonstrate how this works. So we should have, there we go, activate Nightgate, and you teleport to the location of the other gate. So use your creativity on how you could use this. You can bounce around between two locations. If you're trying to deal with a complicated combination of people patrolling, you can hop from one location to the other. If you're trying to deal with dragons, you can then just kind of evade flame and breath attacks by just hopping over to the next possible location. There's a lot you can do with that. Technically, you might even be able to cheat certain dungeon spells by not having to hit the right button before dropping a drawbridge and whatnot. So there's potential there for cheese, but all in all, I think it's a great spell. So that is it for the alteration spells. Next on our list is going to be the destruction spells. Now, destruction are available at, again, 4 vendors. The first is Enfear in Winterhold. So if you want the following destruction spells for the Shadow Mage, you'll hit Winterhold. Again, that was one of the alteration vendors as well. So you can get 2 out of 3 of these by just starting in Winterhold. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we have Farengar Secret Fire in Whiterun. You can also get the destruction spells from him. He's obviously right here, center of the map, easy place to start. Next we have Nelkar in Winterhold. All right. Oh, that's in Winterhold too. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So a lot of these are actually available in Winterhold. And then lastly, Teloth Nel Mithrin, or Neloth in Tel Mithrin, which I assume is in Solstheim, if I am not mistaken. So that's where you'll want to go to get the following spells. And now we can get into some fun stuff. Alright, so of the destruction spells, when the Shadow Mage is in a pinch, when he's outnumbered and outgunned and he can't get away, he's got a couple of options. The Draining Touch is the first one. This is a... Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and... What's it? Toggle Immortal Mode. There we go. Okay, so as... Go ahead and get hurt a little bit. Did I hit the wrong button? No, that should be Draining Touch. There we go. Alright, so I should be getting hurt. Am I not getting hurt? Do I have to turn off? Oh, do these stack? These must stack. There we go. Okay, God Mode is disabled. I am now hurting. And you can see the energy being drawn to me from my target. That is a slow drain. Okay? So that lasts a good, I believe, 30 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, for 30 seconds, it absorbs 3 points of health and 3 points of magicka, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but this is a novice level spell, right? This is, you just started. Now, if you really want to be nasty, notice how he's still got a lot of health left. So you freshen it, so it's got another 30 seconds, and then you do your Nightgate, and that teleports you way far away, and you're still draining this guy's life force. So that's an interesting combination that you can use, because now he's got to get back to me again, and the drain is still working. So you can, I mean, if you want to be really sadistic, just teleport between 2 points and watch this guy die horribly. Yeah, it's very sadistic when you think about it. It's just like a long-term drain that keeps on going, and you just suck the lives out of the children of Salem. Alright, your next option is called Azra's Wrath. This is a shockwave of shadow energy. It converts up to 50% of your magicka into pure magic damage. So this is a shockwave that explodes. So if you wanted to do a pure mage build that did not use a glass dagger, right? You're not going for assassinations, you're not going for one-handed, you just want to do magic. This is the Shadow Mage's primary offensive weapon. It is a shockwave. It consumes half your magicka, but that rolls into pure damage. So let's see if it'll give us the actual numbers. So right now it'll take half my magicka, and that will create 38 damage. If I had, 500 magicka instead of 200, obviously that would be more damage. So the higher your magicka load, the more damage you do. And the fact that it's AoE is just too good to pass up, because I think this next room has a lot of opportunities for dealing with multiple targets at the same time. So let's get all these people together, have a nice little reunion. Okay, since 2 of them are archers, that kind of ruins our day. Let's sprint on out of here. I'm not standing still, thank you very much, because we've got to showcase the next spell. Okay, we're going to skip Nightblade because I desperately need healing right now. We're going to go with Draining Shroud.
Let's see what you've got.
And that should, there we go. So it's an area of effect, see? Anything within like 30 feet, you just start absorbing their vitals. Let's see, it is health and magicka. 15 health and magicka per second for 60 seconds. So it's just a area of effect drain. As long as you stay close enough, it keeps working. Unless they resist it, of course. So this is your Shadow Mage's, I believe this is a expert level spell. Yeah, this is expert level, so this is kind of mid-game. But if your Shadow Mage is really in trouble, he pops that and then just starts absorbing vitality from anything and everyone around him. Which is a pretty good, that's a pretty good oh holy crapdom move. Next we're going to show off Nightblade. This able to melee attack from up to 50 feet to perform a dash attack. This will convert 50% of your magicka into bonus magicka damage on hit. So this is going back to if you are using a dagger, you will be wanting to use this. I think this actually functions as a buff. Yes, this is a buff. This lasts for 60 seconds. And I believe there is one more willing volunteer standing over here. We just got to get into night vision. Okay, so what this should do is now that we are, I think that's within 50 feet. There we go. Woo! Alright, so if you're in 50, you pop the buff, and for the next 60 seconds, if you're within 50 feet of the target and you swing your blade, you teleport to them. So this is for taking out retreating opponents or just that one boss and you want to do extra damage. As you can see, it took like half my magicka, but I did enough extra damage to drop this guy in one hit. And I mean, this is a little dagger. It really shouldn't be one-shotting bandits. But with the power of destruction magic, it does. Alright, next we're going to, this is the last of the destruction spells. This is called Draining Mist. And I don't know why I don't have that one on my list. I think it should be over here. Oh, it'll be Destruction. There we go. Alright. Shadow Infused Mist that absorbs 38 points of health and magicka. Okay, so this is the similar as the Shroud spell I just showed you guys. We're going to pop it. In the next room, there's 3 bad guys. So we're going to pop this spell to last for 60 seconds. And I am going to toggle God mode for this just to cover the magic costs real quick. And we'll see how quickly it takes out all 3 of the guys in this next room. Bon appetit! Alright, so this is a lot like the Draining Shroud spell I showed you earlier, except it does twice as much damage. So let's see what this does when we get in range. I'm not seeing people dying. Huh. Okay, let's have another look at this. Does it need to be in the same room? That might be part of the glitch. Shadow Infused Mist absorbs 48 points of health and magic up for 60 seconds. Okay, let's see if we can get far enough away to recast. Get someone nice and close. That looks close enough. There we go. Alright, so it looks like... Oh, it's stationary. That's why. Alright, so it is centered on your location. So one of the tricks you could do with this is this location, right? Anything within 60 feet of this is going to get massively drained. 38 points of health and magicka per second, all to me. But obviously it's stationary, right? As soon as I moved into this next room, I didn't have the buff. So what you do is you combine this with Pull Through Shadows, and now from 150 feet away, you can pull people into this vortex of drainage, right? So that is a way you could use this, but obviously you need enough. You need 150 feet because you need to be able to cast the spell without someone being close enough to recognize that they're about to die. But yeah, so that's a combination that I would recommend because that would definitely do it. All right, that brings us to the illusion spells. The illusion spells can again be purchased from Babette with the Dark Brotherhood. So the Dark Brotherhood, if you start with that quest line with an alternate start mod, would get you both the alteration and illusion halves of the Shadow Mage spells, which actually, if you're doing one-handed, is all you'd really need. Like the draining spells, technically, if you're clever as an assassin, you wouldn't need those. So technically, you could just start as the Dark Brotherhood, use Babette's spells for a full playthrough, and possibly be all right. Also, there's Golem AI in Solitude, who offers the following illusion spells. Nelkar in Winterhold, and then Neloth in Tel Mithrin. I really like the placement of these spells. So it kind of plays into the roleplay that your character would have to do a kind of pilgrimage. Obviously, you don't have to go to all 3 of them, but you can't go to one city and get all of the spells for any one mage type. You'll have to go to at least 2. So I like the idea of needing to do some kind of a pilgrimage before you get access to these spells that are built to last an entire playthrough, or at least to be the core of a playthrough. Alright, that brings us to the illusion spells. First off, we're going to be looking at Gather Shadows, and I believe that is another spell that I've been auto-casting on combat. So let me show that one, you guys. Your melee attacks and your Shadow Mage spells are up to 50% stronger in darkness. Now, darkness is a condition that is created by these other illusion-based spells. So my Gather Shadows is auto-casting whenever I enter combat. Now, the darkness can be created, for example, by the next spell, which is Darkness. Creates a 10-foot source of darkness that sticks where it strikes for 65 seconds. So for you, this is technically a debuff. You'll hit a location in which you want combat or the assassination to take place, like maybe one of the entrances to that twin portal spell we saw earlier. And then anything in this area gives you an extra 50% damage. But it's only 10 foot in radius, so that's pretty small. But let's give it a shot. What do we got over here? There should be one more bandit, although I usually run this with Obis. So maybe there isn't one here. Yeah, I didn't want to do Obis for this, just so that I could do more of a single target demo, rather than, oh look, there's a swarm of tons and tons of bad guys. Alright, so I'm in darkness. Where's my dagger? Oh man, I switched! Wrong button! Wrong button! Alright, there we go. Alright, here we go. 50% increased damage because I'm in darkness. So, apparently you really need to assassinate. Alright, we're going to try out this increased damage just in a different way. There we go.
You'll be so
Alright, so the drain is 50% more damage if he's in this darkness area. And obviously if you're assassinating through the Shadow Mage spells and you're assassinating in darkness, you get that buff as well. But when you're only wielding a glass dagger and you didn't maximize your one-handed skill because you're doing a mage playthrough, yeah, that's how that works. Alright, next on the list is Reveal Secrets. This is a fun one. This is not a combat one, and I think I showed this one during the Triumvirate special, but it makes any containers or doors that you can access shimmer. So as you can see, so this kind of shows me that there's something interesting behind this door. I'll probably want to check that out. Woo, first try! That's rare. No trap? Okay. And voila! Your container is marked for you. So if you're trying to make your way speedily through a dungeon, if there's a secret door that you're not sure is a door, this will also bring those to light. I believe it also marks keys. So if there's a key on a table that you need for a quest, this will mark it. So you don't have to wander around a dungeon for 3 or 4 rooms trying to figure out what key bit of quest item you overlooked. Next is Possession. This, we're going to try casting this from stealth and see if it works. This one I've had some, it's tricky. Target up to level 40 refuses to die upon taking fatal damage within 30 seconds, fighting for the caster in a frenzy with 40% more damage. So it makes it sound like it immediately turns the opponent to your favor, and that has not been my experience. So I think it's meant to be used in conjunction with something like Fury, so you can make your target attack his friends and then make him immortal for 30 seconds and do extra damage. But we're going to try hitting this guy from stealth and see if it has the same effect as a Fury. Alright, so he's been enhanced for the next like 30 seconds. He can't die. Trust me, I've tried. But the others are now awake, so let's see if he goes to attack them, much like we would see with a Frenzy spell. He did not. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I guess you would have to, let me see. I'm debating on whether trying to combine this with a Fury spell just to make that work. But I think for now, yeah, for now we're going to do the final illusion spell, which is called Nightfall. And we're going to get ahead here and give myself some time to cast. Alright, before we kick this puppy off, I'll show you what it does. A pool of darkness will now follow the caster for 130 seconds. So you remember initially we had to cast this on a location and make sure that the assassination happened on that location in order to get all the extra damage. In this case, you will carry the darkness with you, and therefore your spells will do 50% more damage. And voila! Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we combine that. You know what, we might as well whip out Draining Mist. That's the master spell version of the drain. Oh, whoa, wait, that's already draining. Holy crap, that already drained. Wait. So, Nightfall, let me read that description again. Caster gains all known Shadow Mage buffs. Oh, this thing also casts drains. Really? Really? Come to daddy. Feed me. Feed me. Feed me. This thing also automatically activates your drains. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Now, as you can see... Oh, this guy's still... he's still possessed. And now, apparently... Oh, that was cool. So you can see he actually couldn't die. He was in the drain taking lethal damage, and he couldn't die until the spell wore off. Wow, that is powerful. So you've got the darkness that increases all of your spell damage, and you're automatically casting drains, which hit for more spell damage. Although I will say, if you have like a EMB that's magnifying darkness, you are literally in darkness. Like the darkness spell from D&D that affects your visibility, that is totally what I'm experiencing right now. No wonder that he developed Reveal Secrets with this, because look how dark it is right now. How am I supposed to tell where a door or a key is or something I need for a quest? Obviously I'm going to need something to part the ways and show me what the heck is going on. Wow, I could barely even see that turn. That is a really interesting... That darkness is an interesting effect, but man, remember, I cranked my brightness all the way to 100 to try and see in the dark, and now I can't because I am the dark. This is like the Skyrim version of Bane. That's fun. Alright, so I think last but not least, excuse me a moment, I'm going to hop on my keyboard and give myself Fury real quick. Alright, back to it. So I have Frenzy in my left hand, Possession in my right. The idea here is we want to sneak up to the bad guys. We're going to curse one of these guys with Frenzy so he'll start fighting his friend, and then we're going to hit him with Possession so that he can't die. Hopefully that is how this will work. I think we're going to have to hit him with Frenzy first, though. Okay, now we just got to sneak away long enough for him to... Oh, now he's alone. Of course now he's alone. Why wouldn't he have friends this time during a playthrough? Seriously. Okay, do we got someone else? Alright, I'm going to have to find him some... Oh wait, is he going to find some bad guys on his own? No? Alright, we're going to have to help him along. Alright, bad guys, where could you be? Please excuse me. Alright, I need you guys to attempt to kill each other, please. Thank you. And I'm just going to vacate the premises. Oh wait, are they already? Yeah, there's two of them. Alright, so this one is frenzied, and now he can't die. So we're just going to watch the... Oh, Jude, it works on more than one guy at a time. Ha! That is so cool. Oh, geez. So... Wow. So let's see. So neither one of them can die, but they're going to keep wailing on each other. So once the spell wears off, they're both going to have like 1 point of health left, unless they haven't done that much damage. Which only leaves us with Joe Schmo here. Interesting. Okay. So this is one of the things I love about this guy's mods. All right, Sion. Pronouncing these mods is never easy. He's got a tricky name, but I love his mods, and I love that you see how well it works even with the vanilla spells. It just worked perfectly. You get him frenzied, and then you make sure the guy you're frenzying can't die. Like, frenzy the bandit chief, make him immortal, and then sit back and watch the fun. I love that. That's a great addition to the vanilla spells for an illusion mage. That is just awesome. That is great. Alrighty, now if I don't... Oh, yep, fallen into a hole. That's what I would do at the end of a playthrough. I'm just going to sprint to the end here. We can get a lovely shot from the outside before we end for the day. So let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite spell... mage... Let's see, Shadow Mage. That's what it's called. Your favorite Shadow Mage spell. What was your favorite? Was it the Possession? Was it the Darkness elements? If you play a lot of D&D, you might actually use the Darkness spell and think it's awesome. Yeah, so let me know what you liked the most, and possibly if you found anything game-breaking, or that darkness ripple is just weird. When you're standing in brightness and you're emanating darkness, it's just weird. Anyway, all right, so let me know in the comments below what your thoughts were. Feel free to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try and find a better spot from which to find a good view for that ever-delicious end screen. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.